Translation: You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the origin and Supreme Lord of all living entities. You have arisen to disseminate the rays of the sun in order to dissipate the darkness of the ignorance of the universe. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Kapila Muni is accepted as an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Here is the word Adyaha, means the origin of all living entities. And Pumsam Ishvara means the Lord, Ishvara of the living entities. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. Kapila Muni is the direct expansion of Krishna, who is the sun of spiritual knowledge. As the sun dissipates the darkness of the universe, so when the light of the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down, it at once dissipates the darkness of Maya. We have our eyes, but without the light of the sun, our eyes are of no value. Similarly, without the light of the Supreme Lord, without the divine grace of the spiritual master, one cannot see things as they are. So Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila, although Kapila is the son, her own son, but still Devahuti understood that he is Adhyo Bhagavan. She understood that he is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so she is requesting him to Lokasya tamasandasya chakshuhu surya ivoditaha. She is requesting her son to remove her own ignorance and the ignorance of the universe. And then she is addressing the Kapila as Ishvaro Vai Bhavan Kila. He is the origin and the Supreme Lord of all living entities. Ishvaro Vai Bhavan Kila Lokasya Tamasa. Actually, I think in 2018 or so, we all know the country Philippines. The president of that country, he made a statement that God is dead, and if you can prove, I will resign from my post. And then before that he said, it's a very offensive statement, he said God is stupid. And then many theists in the world, they became very hurt by such open statements by a leader. Of course, I'm not sure whether he is still in power. But this was not new when Prabhupada went to America in 1916s. The propaganda was that God is dead. The way there's so many problems are there in this world, there are no solution to some of the diseases, no solution to some of the challenges of this world. Looks like God is not active, so he must be dead. If God is there, why there are so many challenges and so many problems in this world? And Prabhupada also mentions in one conversation, there are some so-called churches, even they preach that God is dead. Recently also there were, they call it as atheistic churches. Everything will be like a church, but then they say minus God. There is no God. So in this world, this is the darkness. They do not want to accept God. And as soon as you say there is a personal God, immediately they'll all become very envious. And how many people are envious in this world? Everybody. Only the envious people come into this universe. envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then they want to live independently. So this is the tamasandasya, darkness of ignorance. Sometimes people accept that there must be some power, there's some supreme power is there, they'll accept. Sometimes they call it as some universal mind is there, some kind of a consciousness is there, they'll say. But when it comes to a personal God, immediately they will all be jittery. They will not accept. So here we can see Devahuti. She is a very exalted woman. She is able to understand that Supreme has personal features. Understanding that there is some power, that is a beginning of appreciation of the Supreme, but to recognize Bhagavan feature, that is a very big advancement. So here you can see Yayadhyo Bhagavan Pumsam. She is directly recognizing that there is a Bhagavan for all the living entities. So this stage of understanding that there is a personal God is not ordinary. Not at all ordinary. There is a deep-rooted envy in the hearts of all the conditioned living entities not to accept that there is a personal God, not to accept personal features of the Supreme. And even if they accept also, so they, for example, if you say Lord is having features of, say, Shankha Chakra Gadha Padma is holding, maybe some of them say, yes, looks like he has some 2-3 hands extra, so probably he is God. And people who are very morally calculating God, they may say, okay, Lord Ramachandra, yes, morally okay, 1 or 2 incidents here and there, not able to appreciate, yes, he is God. But if you talk about Krishna dancing with young gopis in the middle of the night and say, he is God, you will see their envy, you will see how they yell and shout at you. This is the world. So, Bhagavan's highest features, the original personality of Godhead is Krishna. Appreciating him in his fullness is not ordinary. Not at all. That's why Shastras, the Brahma Samhita says, Vedeshu Durlabha. So it is even extremely difficult, even if you read Vedas, to really recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. Without imposing our own moral calculations and our own imaginations, to accept Krishna as he is not ordinary. So that's why she is extremely intelligent woman. After all, she is serving the Lord as mother. So that's why here we can see Eyadhyo Bhagavan Pumsam. So origin of all living entities. Adhya means origin. So one should know that our roots are, even in this material world, are connected back to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If somebody genealogically also calculates and goes upwards, if one is intelligent, he should recognize that there must be an original personality. There must be one original father for all the living entities. So Prabhupada used to challenge any theories which doesn't allow us to reach the Supreme Father, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For example, there is one theory that we all came from some kind of monkeys or apes. And so it's a godless theory. If I have come from an animal, then I am not obliged to accept that there is a God. So you see, scientists have introduced innumerable godless theories and diverted the attention of the people from God and to some imaginary theories. So that's why Prabhupada, you see, in his entire spreading of Krishna consciousness, he battled against these godless theories and the godless scientists who are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In 1977, when he was on the very extremely sick and is on the bed on the deathbed virtually in Vrindavan, there are many other things are going on about management, governance and all that. But Prabhupada is also organizing the first ever seminar in Vrindavan. He asked his PhD disciple, Swarup Damodar Prabhu, to organize a seminar and call all the scientists from all over the world and talk about God and religion and science. So you can see how much importance Prabhupada has given to ensure that this godless propaganda by the scientists is checked. See, people, they accept the scientists and their scientific theories blindly. They accept blindly. Why? They accept them as authorities. They become authorities. And why is that? Because they think so many facilities have come, so many technologies have come. They have done something to us. So that's why you see, they have so much faith and confidence on the scientists. Moment you say so-and-so scientist had said that, immediately all our eyes goes there and we try to accept what is that he has said. That's the kind of credibility that scientists have built. And if they say, oh, there is no God, then obviously the common people will also accept. So Prabhupada was very keen to ensure that Krishna consciousness is presented as a scientific process, and presence of a personal God as a scientific evidence also. Actually, as devotees, for us the Vedic evidence is enough. Whatever is written in Prabhupada's books, because somehow by his mercy we came under divine grace of Prabhupada. Although it is Vedeshu Durlabha, it has become Adhurlabha Atma Bhakto. We are fortunate to come in touch with an Atma Bhakta, the Supreme Lord's confidential devotee, and so it has become very easy for us to understand Bhagavan, Paramatma, and this all-pervading Jyoti, all these things very clearly we are able to understand. Although we may not realize as yet the depth of what it is, but nonetheless we all know there is personal God. So, but people believe in some kind of a scientific jugglery they need. So devotees also, they should learn all this jugglery. And using the same jugglery, they should defeat these godless scientific theories. We should use the same weapons. whatever they are using, same weapons we have to use. And then defeat them. For example, Prabhupada, whenever they say, the universe has come from a chunk, Prabhupada says, okay, there is a chunk, but where did the chunk come from? So he is using the same jugglery, chunk, explosion, whatever it is, and then he used to push them towards the arisen. What is the origin? Yeah, Adhya, Bhagavan. He comes to that Bhagavan feature, Prabhupada. This is called intelligence. We should know how they are diverting the people's attention, and then within that same framework we should be able to bring Krishna. This is the intelligence of the preacher. How to bring Krishna into his own way of understanding things. Because currently he is not able to understand things as they are. But as disciples of Prabhupada, we should present things as they are. For example, here Prabhupada is saying, he is ending the purport, without the light of the Supreme Lord, or without the divine grace of the spiritual master, one cannot see things as they are. Seeing things as they are is knowledge. And as soon as you cannot see, then that becomes ignorance. Tamasandasya, it becomes ignorance. Actually, as long as people are covered by tamoguna and rajoguna, no question of understanding things as they are. The minimum qualification for seeing things as they are is satuguna. So now, in tamoguna, rajoguna, if people declare that we are scientists, it's not easy to convince people. So that's why this is a big battle. Krishna conscious preaching means it's a big battle against these atheistic and godless theories. Otherwise, who can believe that God can be so beautiful? Who can believe that He is personal with so many wonderful features? So as preachers of Krishna consciousness, we have many things to learn. So many things to understand and assimilate. And what is our purpose? One is our own purification, and one more is we also want to spread this light. Knowledge is light, God is light, and Maya is darkness. Illusion is darkness. So if you have an ability to really do a kind of a research and then understand the subject deeply, one should do it. That is glorification of Krishna. If somebody decides, yes, I want to glorify Krishna by presenting a deeper aspects of this one subject, and Krishna will also help. Krishna will also give intelligence. Guru has already given all his books, his teachings, but still they can guide the disciple if they want to glorify Krishna by bringing in more and more details. Buddhi yogam dadhamyatam. So the Guru and Krishna are very active in the disciple's life, in the devotee's life. They are not limited to only these books. They are limited to, not only limited to the altar. So, and Shastra says that Guru and Krishna are there in the heart. They are not sitting like passive persons. They are actively involved in the devotee's life. So that's why if a devotee decides, I want to serve like this, I want to contribute like this, immediately you will see additional intelligence comes, direction comes, many things fall in place, and devotee enjoys that reciprocation. As the devotee sees the hands of the Supreme Lord in his day-to-day work, he becomes more and more attached. He becomes grateful to Krishna, grateful to Guru, and then he wants to offer more services to the Lord. And then he gets more reciprocation from the Supreme Lord. It goes into a hora-hori. Devotee wants to give something and Krishna is also responding, it goes on. The highest hora-hori is between Radha and Krishna. She wants to offer more service to Krishna, and by seeing her, Krishna also wants to respond, and there is a kind of a competition. So this is the devotee's opportunity. Everybody should have the preaching spirit. As soon as we understood this philosophy, we have a responsibility to spread this knowledge. Lokasya tamasandasya chakshuhu surya ivodita. We got the shelter of the Surya of Sachidananda. Prabhu says always, Krishna is Surya. He is the complete source, infinite source of knowledge. He is like an ocean, and Prabhupada is like cloud. He brought that water from the ocean, and he is sprinkling on this burning world. So, if we want to assist Prabhupada in the best way, then we have to spread this knowledge far and wide. That is the real service. Here you can see Kapila has appeared in order to disseminate the light. Because this world is dark, people have no idea how to get out of this darkness. Of course, very few people recognize that they are in darkness and they want to find solutions, but there are no solutions. For any of the material problems, there are no solutions. There are only some spiritual solutions, otherwise there is no solution at all. So that's why it is the great responsibility of all of us that we should find ways and means by which we can spread this light. We can disseminate this knowledge. And Krishna will be very pleased because his purpose is to spread this knowledge and remove the darkness. And if somebody takes it up, he becomes very dear to Krishna. You can see Prabhupada is very dear to the Lord because he has taken this message far and wide, all over the planet, all over the universe. So, and if we can assist Prabhupada in expediting this, increasing the pace, and reach this message to as many people as possible, then the darkness of Maya can be dissipated. That's why Prabhupada used to so much emphasize on distributing his books. He used to say, distribute, distribute, distribute. Sometimes 4 times he says. 3 times is final, according to Vedic tradition. If you stress anything 3 times, that is final. Nastiva, 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 gatiranyada. That means final, that's all. It's a final conclusion. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. But here Prabhupada is saying, distribute, 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 distribute books. He has given an instruction beyond Vedic wisdom. And then, so, as disciples, we should not be complacent. that yes, I have received the light, now I understand everything. That's okay, that's fine. But Shastra says, if somebody has learned something and if he doesn't give it to others, it is like a pot with a small hole. Day by day, through the hole, the water goes away, a small this thing. Similarly, although one can preach and got a chance to preach, and if he doesn't preach, it is like a small crack in the pot and slowly it will go away. One day he will not even remember. And that too in this Kali Yuga, combination of Kali and Maya, the impact is unexplainable. It is so much, such a horrible state of affairs. Kalim Sattva Haram, it is naturally Kali Yuga, Kali's effect means it will take away the sattvic qualities of the human beings. That is what Kali means. And Maya has a big partner in Kali, and you can see the rampage, the kind of devastation that is going all around us. So, if we want to transcend these forces, the only way is to follow Prabhupada's orders of doing our japa nicely, and then whatever service is been given, nicely do, and then if you have opportunities to preach to some people without any hesitation, we should do that. Any service within the mission is all preaching. One should not be confused. Preaching means only talking to people. That's what we think, and that's preaching. But actually, everyone who is part of the mission and is doing whatever service, it could be cleaning, it could be MMD, it could be LLP, it could be folk, or whatever service, everybody is preaching. Without any doubt, they're all preaching. How is that? Because if they, for example, if the cooks don't cook, preachers will sleep in the ashram. Who can go? And then, you cannot even talk. And let us say, the pujaris, doesn't do proper worship. Where is the inspiration? Actually, everything is a teamwork. Whatever achievements we are doing here, all the preaching achievements, it's actually the achievements sanctioned by Guru and Krishna by looking at the endeavors. It's a combined endeavor. As a community, we are all preparing something and offering to Guru's lotus feet. And then Guru and Krishna will decide, okay, chalo, this much will. That is the accomplishment. Accomplishments are not, the results are not in the hands of human beings. The results are in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All that we can do is nicely cooperate and enhance that offering to Krishna. That is called intelligence. Let us say among ourselves we fight and a lot of energy is going there. Then what about your offering to Guru and Krishna for the day? So every day the devotees are fired up, they are energized. Yes, we want to maximize our offerings to Guru and Krishna today. What can I do more? How can I give more energy? How can I spend more time in Krishna's service and not waste time in other Maya activities? This is the devotee's anxiety. And if somebody develops that kind of an anxiety to serve Guru and Krishna's purpose, their orders, their mission, then very successful. As that anxiety grows and grows, becomes laulyam, then he has achieved success in devotional service. It all starts with a little anxiety like this. Let me come to sadhana. This is one anxiety. Whole sadhana program is meant to develop that anxiety in us. And if you have no anxiety, that means already some Maya has entered into our life. So, if you follow Prabhupada's process, naturally your anxiety, your eagerness will increase. Yes, today let me have darshan of Radha Govinda at Mangalati time. And if you are not able to come, one should feel sad. At least one should try to hear Samsara Dhava at least during the day. One should recover whatever he has lost. Not that, okay, chalo ye sab chalta hai. Har ek din milta hai. No. We should try to recover as much as, like for example, 16 rounds. In case by chance, let us say, somebody misses, it should be a rare thing. The next day he recovers. Similarly, if you miss Mangalati, at least hear that Samsara Dhava again. So like that, unless we become attached to Prabhupada and Prabhupada instructions, this tamasandhasya is not easy to cross over. Maya is very difficult to cross over. But we are all fortunate. Under the shelter of Prabhupada, he has created a system. Even if we are not having enthusiasm, at least the system is alert and tries to encourage you to come and participate and be part of the program. So that should be our goal. Somehow let me contribute to the mission of Prabhupada till the last moment. If we can die while serving, that's the glorious death for a devotee. Any questions? Yeah.
Sometimes we don't like some objects, like some vegetables, let's say some people. So when it comes to some objects, then there is a question of like and dislikes will come.
Correct.
Sometimes some people, they don't like animals.
Correct.
So there also the question of like and dislike will come. But when it goes to the human being, there some people, they don't like some human beings, personalities.
Correct.
There it not stop in the level of like and dislike, it extend to hate and jealous. Now what is that causes, whereas in the other cases, it stops at the level of like and dislike, whereas when it comes to a human being, it extends to hate and jealous also. I mean, what is that reason? Any logic or reason is there for Prabhu?
Yeah, there is, the logic is in the second chapter, text 62. And what is that logic? Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Vishayan means objects. Sense objects. And what is the secret? Dhyayataha. Contemplation, visualization, creative visualization, contemplation, go on thinking, not able to divert your attention. And if you are fixed on, go on thinking in varieties of ways. What are these varieties of ways? I am going to hit him like this, or I am going to comment like this, I am going to hurt him like this. This is what the contemplation goes on. And then when it becomes beyond a certain point, then it develops into a desire. Really, I want to give him back, or give her something back. This is called kama. And kama certainly leads to krodha. Kamat krodho bijayate. So this is the process. In animals, all this contemplation and visualization, artificial intelligence, all those things are not there. They have certain impulses, they just act according to the impulses of the nature. They don't get any reaction for their actions. Only human beings, for their actions, there are reactions. Why? Because he has got this ability of dhyayata. So devotees, particularly ragadvesha vimuktaistu vishayan indriyascharan, it is mentioned, one who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the mercy of the Lord and becomes free from all attachment and aversion. If you want to become free from attachment and aversion, Prabhupada is talking about regulated principles of freedom. And then actually that is sadhana bhakti. Then you may say, no Prabhu, I don't actually really think of him always like that, but I think only, about only one of my senses are sometimes not controlled and most of the other senses are controlled. So Shastra is saying, as a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away man's intelligence. So even one sense is on which the mind is focused can carry away man's intelligence. So this one has to be very alert, either bhakti yogi or any yogi, very alert. Just like that we can be pulled into a dangerous situation if we are not careful about controlling the mind and controlling the senses. So this raga dvesha is a common phenomena of the mind. And as soon as you are develop dvesha, you should know you will also develop raga for the same person. Raga, dvesha, raga, dvesha. It goes like this. Pendulum, it creates a habit. Habits are formed like this. Once you will say, no, I don't want this enjoyment. Again it goes to, you will enjoy. Again it comes back. Goes on like this, in a pendulum like this. So, dvandva, this plus and minus oscillation, this dvandva, we have to transcend. How can we transcend? This dvandva mohena, caught up in hatred and liking. Moment you see your mind is going towards hatred, you should know you are into dvandva. That means you are already in illusion. Or your mind is going towards too much of attachment to some channel, some gramya katha, whatever. Again you should know you are going into illusion. So, you cannot transcend illusion by mental adjustments. The only way is you have to take the absolute knowledge, how to deal with that situation. Absolute knowledge doesn't create any hatred or any attachment to material objects. This is an important understand. You can transcend Maya only by absolute knowledge as given by Guru and Krishna. Otherwise, we'll be caught up in this whirlpool of going this way and that way, this way, that way. Endlessly, sometimes we get attracted, sometimes we get repulsed, and then there's no end to this. And because they contemplate more and more, they get into more phases.
So if we contemplate on a, let's say, same vegetable which we don't like,
Yeah.
so slowly that takes us to the hatred also, on the vegetable also.
On the vegetable also they will become very...
It happens if you contemplate like that.
Yes. I have seen when I was in Bangalore, one devotee, there is a complaint and he's a cook, he's an assistant cook. Because you are asking kitchen related, I'm just telling. He's an assistant cook. Main cook complained to me that this assistant cook doesn't work properly. So then I called both of them and then I was asking what happened. Cook is saying, I'm telling him, you light the gas stove and put this vessel and all those things. And assistant cook is a, well-built, bodied devotee. He can actually put this thing. He is saying, Prabhu, I can put the vessel, but I don't want to light the gas stove. Are, you can put a big vessel. Why you don't want to do such a small thing? Then he was telling me, Prabhu, as soon as I take the matchstick and do like this, I get itching all over my body. Now what is the connection between this and this? You have to believe. We don't know what kind of contemplation he had on the matchstick. He gets itching in the body. So there are physical effects of your thinking. Please understand, your mind contributes to your bodily well-being. If your contemplation is not good, then you will see it percolates into your body. So we have to be very considerate. I told main cook, see, look, he has a problem. That matchbox alone you do, rest of the heavy work he will do. He also understood. So somebody, we don't know whether it is in this life or previous life, contemplation is there against one vegetable. And please remember, because of that vegetable only he is here. Either you hate one vegetable, one man, one animal, you have to come back. Anything in this world very dangerous. That's why how I should not get attracted, nor I should be repulsed. So you should be neutral. Brahmabhuta stage means neutral stage. Na sochati, na kankshati. This is the neutral stage. How we can remain neutral like that? That's why Goswamis have given one more powerful principle. They say, you look at the objects with the intention how I can use it in the service of Krishna. That's all. This Yukta Vairagya is a powerful principle. How I can use it in the service of the Supreme Lord. If your contemplation is like that, then you will not fall for this plus and minus thinking. In the service of the Lord it is not useful, no problem, just reject, over. There is no hatred there. You cannot say, no, why it cannot be used, why it cannot be. For example, liquor is there, you cannot use in the service of the Lord, it is rejected. So like that, in connection to Krishna, if you see how to use in the service of Krishna, then we will be free from this dualistic thinking, hatred and attraction. Otherwise, very easily we can get trapped into any subject like this. Some subjects are very close to our heart, and then we can immediately fall for those subjects. And then develop hatred. Yeah, any other?